Subverting expectations. One of my favorite practices as a game designer is to subvert the expectations of my players to always keep them engaged within the world of my game. By subverting expectations, I do not necessarily mean plot twists, but the idea of taking an established mechanic or an established situation within a game and at a pivotal moment turning it around. A great example I want to talk about is in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Really early on in the game, there's a mechanic that is introduced called the Flame Clock. It has an in-depth explanation of what it is, how it works, and how it ties into the story. Basically, without going into too much detail, the Flame Clock gathers life energy from creatures you kill, and it fills up to a certain point. The game explains that if it's too low, the strength of your characters is reduced, and if you manage to keep it up to a satisfying amount, your powers are increased. For me, when I played this set the expectation of a resource management system in this open world JRPG, which I personally was not really fond of the idea upon first seeing it. But since it tied in with the story and the mechanic was there to serve the story, I understood that there wasn't really anything else to be done. It was there and it impacted your gameplay in a way to show the implications of having those flame clocks in the story and the threat that they pose. However, soon after, as I kept playing through the story, it turns out that you get to destroy that flame clock, and as soon as you do, the mechanic becomes irrelevant. So not only they set this expectation of a resource management system in the game and tied it up with the story, they reached a point in the story where that threat was gone and that directly impacted the gameplay. So the art of subverting expectations can come in different forms. It could be in the form of the story having a plot twist that you did not expect. Maybe the story was building into character A dying with different hints and foreshadowing, but it ends up that character B ends up dying instead. Or, like Xenoblade, it could be in the form of setting up some gameplay expectations and then flipping it around. I personally love when a game manages to subvert my expectations. It sets itself apart and it immediately becomes a more memorable experience to me. Overall, I hope more developers find ways to subvert expectations without compromising the original promise or creative vision of the game, because at the end of the day, it does make a difference and it might just make the game a tiny bit more memorable.